Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man, back to answer more of your questions. Our first question today is from Joe the Artist. What characters do you want to see in Smash for Switch? Well, I definitely think the Inklings from Splatoon should be in Smash for Switch. Personally, I'd love to see Paper Mario, maybe Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X, and Rayman. I really want to see Rayman. Here's a couple questions from Chicken Krispies. Which character from Marvel do you want to see in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that isn't a common choice among fans? How about Howard the Duck? Also, what's your favorite non-Nintendo Rareware 3D platformer? Maybe this is cheating a little bit. How about, like, Sonic Adventure 2? Because originally that came out in the Dreamcast. It was ported to Nintendo, so maybe that's kind of a cheating answer, but that's what I got. Nathaniel Best asks, what features are you hoping for that are in the next Animal Crossing? The problem with this question is I actually never played Animal Crossing Wild World, so I don't know what they already added, but I'd really love to see furniture that's like you can put outside or that you can put on your walls, so I'm not sure which of those already exist. The Smashmaster 9000 asks, do you think Breath of the Wild will affect Link's later Smash Bros. Moveset? Hard to say. I don't know if they really added anything that would be moveset changing for Link. Because, Skyward Sword didn't really affect anything, and I don't see Breath of the Wild affecting anything in that regard either. Here's a few questions from PSB123. What are your thoughts on Breath of the Wild's final boss? I thought it was pretty good. For one, it rewards you for doing things in the game. Like if you did all the other extra things you could in the game, it rewards you for that. And then it's a pretty straightforward, kind of what you'd expect final boss from that point. And then there is a second form to the final boss that's gimmicky and pretty well done. Who is your favorite champion from Breath of the Wild? They are all really good. I like all of them so much. But if I had to pick one solitary favorite, I'd have to say Mipha, because I really do like the relationship between Link and Mipha. What would you pick for a Breath of the Wild stage in Smash Bros? Oh, my idea for this was if you were fighting on top of, I hope I get the name right, Vanarudo. I think that's the bird divine beast. And it could be something like Venom from Super Smash Bros. Melee, where then you're flying all around all of Breath of the Wild's world while fighting on top of Vanarudo. I think that'd be pretty cool to see a whole lot of the world that way. Here's a couple of questions from Super Mario Fan 03. Who do you like better, Markiplier or PewDiePie? Markiplier. I don't know if you remember, but do you recall that terrible roster you critiqued with me doing those impressions? Just thought I'd ask because I made terrible videos back then. Hey, everyone made terrible videos when they started. If you ever see any of my original videos, which, those actually aren't around anymore, I had to delete them because they showed my face, and now I can't show my face in videos anymore. But my original videos had so many terrible jokes and jump cuts and stuff like that. So, everyone does that. He Remains Pichu asks, do you think we'll see another Donkey Kong Country game on the Switch? I'm banking on it. I really hope there's one. I'll be a little bit disappointed if there's not. Here's a few questions from Smash Bros. 2009. If you could get any Smash character to be a posable figure, who would it be and what would be their accessories? Doesn't that sound perfect for Rob? You could switch out different things for robot parts or have the real ones, like the Gyromite and the Stackers and stuff like that. That sounds really neat. What are your thoughts on the new Nintendo 2DS? That makes a lot of sense to me. Nintendo's newer 3DS games don't even implement the 3D, so they might as well release something with the new 3DS capabilities without the 3D, so that they can reduce the cost. And it seems like Nintendo wants to keep the 3DS family alive for a long time to come, so it's the perfect console to buy if you've never bought a 3DS already or a new 3DS already. What's the best and worst sequel to games you've played? Ooh, that's tough. There's a lot of really good sequels that I've played that I can think of right off the bat. Pretty much any 3D Mario game that came after Super Mario 64 were all improvements. I thought Majora's Mask was a great sequel to Ocarina of Time. I thought Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 were great sequels to the original Mass Effect. So lots of really good sequels. As far as bad sequels go, the ones that come to the top of my head, and like I said, this is just going off of personal experience and what I can think of right now. I think the transition from Soul Calibur 4 to Soul Calibur 5 was not necessarily bad, but disappointing. Like, for a game like that, a fighting game like that, you expect everything to be better, like, more characters and more of this and better of that, and it was only, like, some of that, like, some new characters and some better features, but a lot of stuff missing from the previous game that people liked. And I was a little disappointed, too, with the transition from Super Scribblenauts to Scribblenauts Unlimited. Because, like, I loved the idea of, like, oh, yeah, now you have these worlds that you do stuff in. But the challenges weren't as interesting. So, like, there's my answers for those, just at the top of my head. Musomania27 has a couple of questions here. Have you watched Konosuba, and why is it your favorite anime of all time? I don't even know what Konosuba is, so sorry about that. What general anime power would you like to have? Like Chakra from Naruto, or Devil Fruits from One Piece? And actually, my answer to that is Haki from One Piece, because with Haki, you can do pretty much anything as long as you believe in it. So, that's pretty cool. What old, currently inactive video game IPs would you love to see again? More Punch-Out! More Punch-Out! And actually, probably more Metroid. That's been kind of dead in the water. But, I mean, if we're talking about stuff that's really, really old, boy, I don't know. How about more Final Fight? Like, a revival of Capcom's Beat 'em Up. Callum Weatherall asks, if you were to go into one game and stay in it for the rest of your life, what game would you pick? That's tough, because I'd want to pick something that's still kind of normal-ish, so I'm not in danger, but something that's, you know, more convenient or exciting. Like, Animal Crossing comes to mind first, because it's so convenient just being able to store furniture and leaves. So I guess I'd go with that, as long as I can bring Rosie with me. I mean, they say in Animal Crossing you can bring your friends with you, right? So that should be okay. Here are some questions from Mercadolum. What is a character that you love, but everyone else seems to hate? You know what? When I was a kid, and I was getting into Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks was my favorite character, and I even had a poster of him. Like, I get all the negative connotations, but I still thought he was a funny character. What is a character that you hate, but everyone else seems to like? Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. I've said that in many, many videos. I can't stand Howl. He is so vain, he is such a jerk, and like everyone in the movie likes him. I don't know about fandoms, but like everyone in the movie is like, Howl is so great and handsome. It's like, God, I couldn't stand this guy. What is the LP you are the most unhappy with? Hyrule Warriors. I loved playing it, and it was my first co-op game with Rosie, but I totally screwed up all the footage. If you go back and watch the Hyrule Warriors videos, there's this thick black outline outside of every single video, and that's just because I set up the wrong settings. And the same thing happened in the newer Earthbound LP as well. And I'm just like, darn it, I didn't catch that. Besides Takamaru and Excitebiker, what other classic characters do you support to be in Smash? Oh, lots. Sheriff, Bubbles from Clu Clu Land, Sukapon, just name a few. There's so many options there still. In Smash, do you wish that all the characters got Gale Seal costumes instead of just the Mii's? Oh, of course. It would have been great to see things like a Dry Bowser costume, a Mr. L costume, a Shadow Mario costume. There's so many possibilities there that aren't just the Mii's. Orange Island's Pokemon Camp asks, do you watch YouTubers who play competitive Pokemon? I do not. And another question from Pokemon Camp here, what is your favorite sports team, and if you were to turn them into a Pokemon League team name, what would it be? My favorite sports team is the Seattle Seahawks, so I guess, how about like something like the Seattle Skarmories? Some, you know, flying type, bird type Pokemon that also starts with an S. Seattle Skarmories. So I'd make a logo for that. Waffles the Apprentice asks, would you play a fighting game in the classic Street Fighter visual style based off of internet critics like Nostalgia Critic versus the AVGN, and who would you like to see on a roster for this game? Well, that would be awesome for one, and I think you could include a lot more of the critics that were associated with Channel Awesome, right? You could include Lindsay, you could include Todd in the Shadows, Linkara, Spoonie, and then you could include, along with that, normal boots, like Pro Jared and Peanut Butter Gamer and JonTron, even though he's not in normal boots anymore. And have, yeah, I guess that would be it. It's like Cinemassacre versus Channel Awesome versus normal boots would be the idea. Which character from a previous Marvel vs. Capcom do you want to see in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that hasn't been revealed? Wolverine! There's all these rumors now that, like, there's going to be no X-Men characters in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. But, oh my god, how can you have a Marvel vs. Capcom game with no Wolverine? That's, like, no. These next couple of questions are from Classy Polar. If you were a Smash Bros. Character, what would your moveset and victory theme be? I think this was asked a very, very long time ago. My moveset would probably be something trumpet-based, since I'm a trumpet player. Maybe it would include references to things in my LPs as well. And my victory theme? Yeah, some kind of trumpet fanfare. And if you could meet and fight with any Smash character, who would it be and why? Oh, definitely Little Mac. For one, he has a regular enough fighting style that I might actually be able to learn something. And I've always been interested in boxing since I've always been a fan of Punch-Out, so maybe Little Mac can teach me some stuff. Here's another question from Nathaniel Best. Do you know anything about Digimon? And to add on to this, do you think Agumon would work in Smash Bros.? Bandai Namco did put in Pac-Man, and since Ryu introduced the possibility of multiple Final Smashes, he could have his regular Digi-Evolution to Greymon, then he could have his Warp Digi-Evolution to War Greymon. Okay, wait. I know barely anything about Digimon. I've seen a couple episodes of the show here and there, and that's about my experience with Digimon. But I do think Agumon would work in Smash Brothers. I think that'd be really cool, actually. I think that represents a whole nother pool and field that we don't see yet. I think that's a great idea. Admiral N30 asks, what are your personal wishes for E3 this year? Super Smash Brothers for Switch! And that's pretty much the big one for me. Here's another question from He Who Mains Pichu. In your opinion, must one play Earthbound before Mother 3? No. Those games are disconnected enough plot-wise. Like, there's references to Earthbound that are cool if you've played Earthbound, but if you just jump straight to Mother 3, I think that's perfectly fine. You're not going to be lost at all. And another question from He Who Mains Pichu. How would you rank the 3D Zelda games from least favorite to favorite? Of the 3D Zelda games, this is just going right on the top of my head, so I apologize if I miss anything. Honestly, I think my least favorite is Ocarina of Time. Like, they're all good. I don't want to give off the wrong impression. Ocarina of Time is not a bad game. It's just I think every other 3D Zelda game is an improvement over it. So, I think Ocarina of Time is my least favorite. Besides that, I mean, there's not very many 3D Zelda games, so it's going to be like, oh, why is that the bottom of the list? Well, because there's not many other options. Ocarina of Time is my least favorite. The next step up is something of a mix of Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask. I like both of them stylistically, but I've never finished either one. Next one up, Skyward Sword. I know that one's kind of a mixed bag for people, but I absolutely love Skyward Sword. Next one up, Wind Waker. Wind Waker still might be my favorite Zelda game, but currently my number one is Breath of the Wild. I really love Breath of the Wild. And that's all the 3D Zelda games I'm remembering. I have this weird suspicion I might be forgetting one, but see, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild. That's it, isn't it? Let me know if I missed any of them. Here's some more questions from PSB123. How likely do you think it is for a Smash 4 Switch port to clone Dr. Mario, Dark Pit, and Lucina? About 40%. 40% chance of that. Do you think it's possible for young Link to be an alternate outfit of Toon Link, like how Elf is for Olimar? Boy, is the character model reasonable enough that you could do that? I think so. I think you could work that out. It might be a little weird, but you could probably work that out. What is your favorite Smash Wii U mod, and why is it the Fawful skin for Bowser Jr.? I guess I'll go with that because I don't know much about mods. If a new F-Zero game gets announced at E3, do you think we might see the idea of adding Black Shadow with Ganondorf's current moveset, so Ganondorf can have his own in the hopeful Smash 4 port on Switch? You know, that's a question I've seen a lot of, actually, is why don't you just add, you know, a new character to have the Ganondorf clone moveset, specifically Black Shadow, and then give Ganondorf his own original moveset? And, you know, that's a workable idea. It gives you, you know, for competitive sake, the character in terms of abilities, while making Ganondorf a little more original to appease those fans. I just don't know how much... I don't know how much a lot of people really care about that they would go through the effort to do that. And like you said, I don't think it's going to come about unless there is a new F-Zero game in the first place. I've actually been more of a fan recently of adding Ganon and giving Ganon, like, the real, like, Legend of Zelda boss moveset, while keeping Ganondorf the same. But I do like your idea from a conceptual standpoint. If that's what happened, like, I would support that. Here's another question from Classy Polar. If you had to pick between Team Rocket, Team Magma, Team Aqua, Team Galactic, Team Plasma, Team Flare, or Team School to have a playable character in Smash, who would it be? I really do think the best representation of the evil Pokemon teams is Team Rocket. But oh my god, Team Skull is my favorite of all time. I would love to see Team Skull playable in Smash Brothers. Here's some questions from Marvin Zager Gaming. What do you think of the name Candace for a girl? And while I'm at it, what do you think of Rebecca and Michelle for girls, as well as Caleb, David, and Alan for boys? Those would sound fine to me. I mean, for one, I think they're names that are, like, nice enough to not have, you know, other kids or other people go, where did that name come from? But unique enough that they're not going to be like, everyone is named that. You know what I mean? I think they're all very happy medium names, and I like them. Here's some more questions from Classy Polar. If Mir B was in Smash, what moveset, Final Smash, and Victory theme would you give to each of Mir B's Ludicolo? All the Ludicolos could just have their real movesets from in the game, and then the Final Smash could be something derivative of that too. For their Final Smash, they each transform into a different ultimate Pokemon that Mir B has used, like Sudowoodo or Dragonite. And then the Victory theme, each one would have a different Victory theme that's different parts of Mir B's two different main theme songs. And the last question of today: what did you think was the most disappointing Final Smash change from Brawl to SSB 4? There were a few, actually, for me. For one, I don't like... Well, you already mentioned this, but I'll mention it too, because, I mean, no one else is reading these unless they go back and read them. I mean, I do like Lucario turning into Mega Lucario, but I miss the Aura Storm, because that was a cool idea. And I don't like how they implemented it into Ness and Lucas's PK Starstorm. Because I liked the old way PK Starstorm worked even more. At the very least, I was hoping that while Ness had the new version of PK Starstorm, when they had the Lucas DLC, that he would have the old version of PK Starstorm, and they did not do that. So I thought that was very disappointing. Also, while I do like Luigi and King Dedede's new Final Smashes, I miss their old ones, because I thought they were way more unique. I feel like they took out some of the more unique Final Smashes and replaced them with Big Blast super techniques, which are cool, but there's already so many Big Blast super techniques that I really like seeing the more unique ones, like the Negative Zone and all the Waddle Dees rushing around. I thought those were a lot more fun. But that's just my opinion on those. That's all the questions I got for this month, so leave your questions for next time below. Thanks for watching.